Good morning, everyone. I've had lots of requests to analyze Simon Lizotte, obviously an amazing player, and I found this OTB Skins actually has tons and tons of great shots of him throwing. Now, interesting thing about what he was saying was he said he's throwing 60% now because his elbow hurts. Well, I got some advice for Simon. Don't ever throw above 60% as long as you live because he throws way better. He's still throwing as far or further than anybody in this card, and he's playing with Heimberg and Kevin Jones, who can flat bust it. And he's going 60% and out driving them with a bad elbow. So I wanted to show a few things, and I wanted to revisit the helicopter finish, and I wanted to discuss when he's throwing easy, his finish is so much better because he finishes all the way around. See that? That's what I'm liking. When I talk about the helicopter finish, it is a combination of the arm extension, but really what it is a total commitment to finishing well past the throw out. Like his left arm is facing straight down the target line. In fact, there's the left arm salute there that has been talked about for years. That is the classic disc golfer beautiful form throw element. But there is a lot of similarities in the best players, and when Simon is throwing this easy and this smooth, you can really see he's not throwing the disc out here. His arm is holding onto the disc. But what he's doing is he's committing to actually finishing all the way around to the right. And I think a lot of us just don't do that. And this is something that I've realized. It takes a lot of commitment. And this would be very hard to learn how to do this and go play a bunch of disc golf rounds and think you're going to be able to get it. The other thing I want to talk about is people saying that Simon steps way across the line. He steps, in fact, he made this idea that the further he steps this way, the more power he gets and generates more hip power, which I'm like, I don't get that at all. But I'm just going to show that actually he doesn't. Okay, let's look at that first, just for grins. And he doesn't walk that crooked. He walks a little bit crooked. So this is his line right here, straight down the tee box. So he's walking so we'll say his line is maybe to right there. And then he throws a little bit past himself, but at the same time, he does have an amazing finish, which is well past his throw out. So maybe those two things go together, but this idea that he's stepping, oh, we need to step way over here to throw this way. There's the line between his feet. Goes right there. Okay. What he does do is swing his knee in a very interesting way. I mean, he has this beautiful X step. Simon has one of the most beautiful X step. That takes some freaking flexibility right there. I mean, just to do that. Just to keep your knees that close together and extend this hip that deep, which gets his lead hip so far in front. So what he does do is this knee appears to swing. It's swinging on this line. And then when he goes to kick this knee, watch. Let's all watch. Okay. He's getting ready to kick, and he falls kind of into his kick. There we go. There's the little loop. It's a little loop. I can see what he's talking about. He's like firing both knees. Very interesting. It's beautiful. Oh, there it is. There it is. See, he fired. There it is. That's what he calls hip engagement. Is this knee still static, and then bam. Both knees. Do you see him go? That's awesome. But he's not stepping across the line. There we go. Okay, so there's his line. You drew it's actually even more straight. So he's a little bit throwing a little bit past his setup, but it is not a radical amount. Okay, so the next thing is both knees have fired now, and he keeps these knees nice and close together. This foot's already off the ground, and this knee is rotating with the hip, rotating his hip. It's beautiful. It keeps his chin up, head up. He's not throwing his head forward. I was going to do a video on Ricky Wysocki because I think Ricky actually needs to start watching this because he's throwing his head more and more as the season progresses. I'm not really sure what he's doing. Okay. So he's going to throw right here. So it's just a little past himself, and his foot's not planted any weird way. It's basically planted just like if he was walking. If we took a still of him running, his foot would look very similar to that. Might be turned in just a little bit, but just not much at all. Then here's the thing. He actually is going to this point. Let's keep going. If you watch his acceleration, which you cannot see in slow motion, by the way, or can't see in stop motion. You can see it in slow motion, and you can certainly see it in fast motion. He's accelerating to this point where this arm goes up. That's when he finally put on the brakes. Okay, so let's get back and run it in slow motion. Boop. He's opening his chest by using his knees, keeping his knees close together. But I consider this still to be the spin to 3, spin to 2. And this is what most people have a very difficult time committing to. And I think teachers have a very difficult time convincing their students, hey, I want you to spin all the way over here and throw the disc out here and it'll come out here. It just sounds so much better. Hey, let's put it on this line in a linear fashion and it comes out. But you can obviously see that's not what he's doing. In fact, his wrist is just kind of flipping around and very passive. He must have just a wrist. I mean, if you watch him putt, it's insane. But it's like, hey, Jeremy Colling's like, hey, everybody should just putt like Simon. I'm like, yeah, if I had a laser beam for a wrist, I would putt just like Simon. Yeah. So, yeah, fast twist muscle fiber accounts for a lot. But if you go play rounds and you're not finishing like this, his left shoulder is past his line. Left shoulder is past the line. If you were to take his shoulders right here, it's actually past this point. He's like getting his butt facing toward the disc. That's how much finish there is. Let's watch it again. But the funny thing is, he does this better when he's throwing 60% and he throws exactly the same distance. I hope he catches on to that before he ruins his arm. Um, he's a talent. He plays way better nursing that elbow than he does when he's, healthy, which is, man, I can tell you as being a guy, I just beat my body to death my whole life. You will regret it later on if you don't get a hold of that. I mean, guy does have some of the most beautiful form, and especially when he's throwing smooth and easy, man, it is just butter. And I'm stunned at how much disc speed he actually gets. Okay, I think that that's what I wanted to cover. I think Simon is amazing. I think he's a funny guy too. I like the fact that he's like German, and he I don't think he always knows how to react to like Kevin Jones and their banter and stuff, and I think it's hilarious. Anyway, join my Patreon for lessons, or if you just want to support me, it's patreon.com/spin and throw. Join the Facebook group, Spin and Throw Disc Golf. This is Bradley Walker. Have a good day. Talk to you later.